I'm Dr. Stan Kutcher, and I'm a psychiatrist. I currently hold the Sun Life Financial Chair in Adolescent Mental Health, and I spend most of my time trying to improve the lives of young people who are living with mental illness and the lives of their families. Let me tell you a story that I think really illustrates the importance of teaching young people about mental illness and helping them learn that there is help and that life will go on even if you have a problem. A number of years ago, I was in my office and I got a phone call from family who had a young child that was in university. And he had called and said that he was doing very, very poorly and he wanted to come home. So he came home and then they brought him to see me. And as he sat in my office, he described to me how things had been going for him over the last 3 or 4 months. He hadn't been eating well. He hadn't been sleeping. He was isolating himself in his room. He was crying. He was sad, thinking that nothing would ever improve. And then he told me that he had become profoundly suicidal, that every single day he thought he would be better off dead, that every single day he thought about how he would commit suicide. And then he said that while he was in the midst of this terrible despair, that he remembered that when he was in junior high school, during his social studies classes, there had been a program that he'd been involved in. And that program had been one which talked about depression in young people. And as he sat there in his college dormitory, suicidal and profoundly depressed, he remembered that he had learned about depression as an illness. He learned about depression as a way that your brain wasn't functioning exactly like it should. And he learned about depression as something that could be treated and that people who had it could get well and live wonderful and productive lives. And he said that that was the moment he decided he would not kill himself. So he picked up the phone and called his parents. Now, that's only one story. But you know what was really neat about that story? Because that program in that junior high school was created by my group, and we didn't really know if it would touch kids when we started that program. But you know, it does. And mental illness can be beaten. Mental illness is simply the same as any other problem. What we need to do is we need to understand it, we need to educate about it, and we need to have a healthcare system that can respond to the needs of people, when they need it and how they need it, and in the best way to help them.